So, student, as we have already started our class 9 history, that is chapter 1, topic French Revolution. So, in our today class, we will discuss on the topic France abolish monarchy rule and become a republic. So, on this topic, we will discuss today. So, till now, we have discussed the French society in the late 18th century, tax paid by the third state, emergence of social group, idea of the philosopher, outbreak of the revolution, and France become a constitutional monarch. And today's topic is ours: France abolish monarchy and become a republic. Now, how France has abolished monarchy rule and it become a republic? Although the situation in France during that time continued to be tense for many years, but in spite of that, Louis XVI, as he has signed the constitution, in spite of that, he, with the king of Persia, had entered into secret negotiation. Due to the bond of the Louis XVI and the Persian king, the neighboring country was worried about France, as Louis XVI signed the constitution. In spite of that, he is having a secret negotiation with the Persian king. This made the neighboring country worried. So they made a plan to send their troops in France as to control the event, that is after the situation that occurred after 1789. But before they could send their troops, the National Assembly voted in April 1792 to declare war against Persia and Austria. And out there, thousands of volunteers gathered and they joined the army. And it was for the first time that we have seen the patriotic song was sung. And the song was Marseillaise, which was been composed by the poet Roger de Lai. Now, the patriotic song Marseillaise, how it got its name? It got its name when the volunteer started to march towards Paris, and as they started from Marseillaise and they began to sing from Marseillaise towards the end of Paris. So in this way it got its name, and the Marseillaise is now the national anthem of France, as this was a revolutionary war, and this war has brought a heavy losses, and even it affect the economic of the country too. That is, it led to the financial crisis in the country, due to which people had suffered a lot, while the men were in the war during that time, and they have left the women at home. And the women during that time had played a very important role, as they were being left at home. They had they have to look after the household activities, their children, the family members, and they did all the tasks of the house. And apart from that, they used to work in other houses for earning a living. Now, out there, a large section of the population has supported the revolution, and they have convinced that this revolution should carry further. And why the last section of the population, they have supported the war, and they convinced that this revolution should continue further, as because the reason was that the constitution of 1791, in which the political right was given to the richer section of the society. That means only the richer section of the society, they got the rights or to vote. That means the one who is able to pay 3 days of wage as a tax, they have only got the right to vote. Whereas we can see that the poor section of the society did not got the political right. So during that time, there used to be a political club, and the political club which used to be formed during that time, what was the function of the political club? In the political club, they used to discuss about the plan, law, idea of the government, which they all used to discuss in that political club. Now, among the political club, the famous one was the Jacobean club, and during that time women also used to take part, and they used to be active throughout the period. And we have also seen that women have also formed their own club. And the member of the Jacobean club, who were the member of the Jacobean club? The member of the Jacobean club used to include small shopkeeper, artisan, that was a shoemaker, pastry, cooks, a printer, that is the one who used to print, that is the watchmaker. And apart from that, the servant and daily wage worker were the part of the Jacobean club. Now, if a club is been formed, a particular leader is required to guide the member of the club. Now, who was the leader of the Jacobean club? The leader of the Jacobean club was Maximilian Robespierre. He was the leader of Jacobean club. Now, the group of the Jacobean club had decided to form their dress code, and they decided to wear long striped trouser. That means they have decided to wear a long striped trouser. Now, the Jacobean club were also known as sans cloutons. Now, why they were known as sans cloutons? What is the meaning of sans cloutons? It means those without knee breeches. Sans cloutons means those who is without knee breeches. Now, sans cloutons mean, as they used to wear long striped trouser, and in addition to that they have also added a red cap that symbolize for the liberty. So they were also wearing the red cap for symbolizing the liberty. But out there we have seen the women were not allowed to wear this, that is the cap which symbolize the liberty. Now, in summer time, in the year of 1792, the Jacobean had a plan to protest, and with the support of the last sections, as large number of Persians was last section of the Persian, they become angered. So with them, the Jacobean club, they have decided to protest. Now, what is the reason that they have decided to protest? The reason was that there was a shortage in supplies of food in the market, and as there was a shortage of supply of food in the market, the rise of the price of the food has gone high. So it became difficult for the poor section to get the food, whereas the rich people used to buy earlier only the food, and they were getting it in a very easily because they were having money. So only the poor section were having, or we can say the poor section was suffering during that time. So on 10th August, the Jacobean, they attacked the palace of Tuileries, and they murdered the king guard. As they were entering the palace, outside the king guard was there. The Jacobean, they have murdered the king guard, and they entered the palace. And as soon as they entered the palace, they made the king, that is king, in hostage. They kept the king in hostage for several hours. Now, later, when they kept the king in hostage for several hours, later the assembly voted to imprison the royal family. Now, after this, they kept election, that is, election were held after all this. And in this election, the mean, who was of age of 21 years and above, and even regardless of, we can say, wealth, that is, they are having wealth or they are not having wealth, it doesn't matter, but they got the political right, that is, right to vote. That it shows that after the age of 21, they got the right to vote. It might be rich or poor, whoever, they have got this political right. So this newly elected assembly was called convictions. So the newly assembly which was been formed, it was called convictions. And on 21st September 1792, it has abolished monarchy and declare France as republic. As you all know, what is republic? It is a form of government where people elect their government, including the head of the government, and there is no hereditary system, as we have seen in the monarchy rule. That is, in the monarchy system we have seen the king's son used to be the next king, and that son's son used to be the next king. So this is the hereditary system which doesn't prevail in republic form of government. And after the form of republic form of government, what happened to Louis XVI? Louis XVI was sentenced to death. That is, after the abolition of monarchy rule, Louis XVI was been sentenced to death by court. Like that only we can't give sentence to death. There must be some reason. And what was the charge? On charge of treason, that is Rajdrohi. He was been declared as Rajdrohi, and he was been sentenced to death. And on 21st January 1793, he was executed publicly at a Palace de la Concorde. There he was been executed publicly. And after his death, his wife Marie Antoinette, what happened to her? After Louis XVI, the Queen Marie Antoinette was also executed. So in this way, the monarchy rule in France came to an end and a republican form of government was established. So in this way, France has become a republic. So these are the points which we have discussed in details, and in our next class we will discuss the reign of terror. So till this much, thank you.